Hello, I'm Colin.
And I'm John.
And we're just off the back of doing a wee next four games preview on extra time, which we recorded earlier this week. So if you're a subscriber, we've already recorded that. That'll be out tomorrow at some point for you. Colin, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Quite looking
Good.
forward to this because we've not got anything really to talk about, So we're just going to get some comments in for folk and see what happens.
Well, you say nothing to talk about. We've got a big game on Tuesday that
Aye,
we'll
aye.
preview. Well, there is that, and also I hope you've done your homework because I asked you to pick your strongest 11 if we had everybody available. So be interesting to hear that. But of course, yeah, do get your questions and your comments in throughout the episode, and we'll pick up as many as we can. There's Joe with the first one. Hi guys, says Joe, and hello to you too, Joe. John, how are you doing?
I'm very well. Had a lovely dinner. I had to burn
Jeff,
out swimming. It was good. It
would
was
you have
a slow cooked chili. I made some crispy potatoes in the oven and I made some pico de gallo to go with the chili and got criticised by Liam from down the slope for the state of my onions. He's always shaming my culinary efforts.
what was
He
wrong with
can't
that? Ian?
talk. I listened to Down the Slope one time, and Liam said he never ate lamb, and then he got pulled up for eating Scotch pies. So that you cannot. If Liam's slagging off your food, just say he didn't come up was in a Scotch pie.
Aye, a
He's do,
butcher, so the butcher will be right.
exactly. So all bets are off. Tog says the answer is yes, right? That's the answer to the question. Can Hibs stop Hearts again? Which is the episode title tonight, which is going to be predominantly the focus of it. J Star said, "Hi lads, Nicky, Scarlett, and Suto to start. Back to the usual system." And Stevie says, "Papers are running about the investment story this week. Apparently, that's has come up as again online that the Jungle Drums are beating about the investment, but probably not speak too much about that tonight, Stevie. But obviously, if there's any breaking news while we're on air, we will. But we start with our best 11s. Did you both do it?
Aye, I've done
I
it.
did.
And I also
Excellent.
picked a Derby team as well because obviously
Right.
that'll be different. So it depends where you want to start.
Well,
Teacher's pet.
I'm always trying to impress him. Can't help it.
let's start then with our best 11. So the transfer window's closed, barring any late movement out the club because we can't bring anybody out. Well, we could bring in if somebody was available at the end of the transfer window that is an out of contract. We could still sign them outside the window, but I would say that's unlikely. So, barring anybody leaving to a club that's in a country where the window is still open, the squad is the squad for the rest of the season. So the question was if everybody was fit and available, full squad at David Gray's disposal, what is your strongest 11? Colin, do you want to talk us through your formation and lineup, please?
Can I ask you both what
Mhm.
formation you picked before we go into it? Because then it might make the conversation different.
Yes,
Did
you
you
can
all?
ask it.
And okay, so what did you go for then?
3-5-2.
3-5-2, John. What did you do? You all went different, guaranteed.
I have actually got two teams.
So have I.
I've got a 3-5-2 and I've got a 3-1-3-1-2.
Mm. I've got a 3-4-2-1 and a 4-2-3-1.
Okay, right. What do you want to start with?
Um, I think I'll go for I think I like the 4-2-3-1 best. Right.
Okay.
So I've got Salinger in goals. We're all going to agree on that. I don't think there's going to be any dispute there,
Nah.
right? So
So
I,
so
Uh,
you're not going for Murray Johnson.
well, you know what, I'm not saying the laddie. He was really highly rated. It's disappointing that he's never had the opportunity. That's where I am with that one.
mhm.
Like, don't get me started on the failure of our academy to produce
Do you
first team
ever
players.
did we ever or when was the last time we found a scenario where like our third choice goalkeeper was thrust into a derby and had a
Mm.
man in the match performance or against Celtic or Rangers? Like I remember
Did
was it
Magalani
Chris
have one
Reed?
of that?
No, no. But what's his face? They went to today, just recently, got chucked on in a
Oh,
derby.
Dabrowski.
Dabrowski,
yes.
thank you. His
Oh,
name
he did.
totally
Yeah.
escaped me. He got chucked in one, and
He
I
had a
think
couple of good saves at the end. Aye.
aye,
No,
Mm.
it finished.
was it 0-0? I can't
I think
remember if
so.
we won that one or if we got the
Yeah.
draw. But he had a great game.
He did have
Mm.
a slight Jim Leighton moment when the ball was played to his feet, like he looked like a rabbit caught in the headlights. But other than that, he did
That's
have
why
a
he's
good
in,
game.
that's why he's in goals. Right. Okay. I'm looking at this 4-2-3-1, and I was going to say I think I've contradicted myself just in traditionally. Because what I was saying is it's hard to pick some of the new guys, but I've picked three of them. Because obviously I've barely seen them in your best ever, and you go, well. So anyway, right, I've went for Salinger goals, back four of Paslak at right back, Abita at left back, and then Hanley and Garananga in the centre. But O'Hora would be unfortunate to miss out there, I think. The two sitting in front of that I've got for Barlaser and Chaiwa. And then the three in front of that I've went for Mulligan, McGrath and Nicky Cadden behind Scarlett. Which is obviously there's like a lot of players on the bench there that are first team picks. You know, like Iredale being one, O'Hora, Rocky, then you've got Boyle, Yuan. These boys are all sitting on the bench.
Aye. I like it. I was just feel like my first thought was, is it attacking enough? Like, have we got enough goals in the team? But I think the three playing in front of the two in midfield let Scarlett just stay up top and get into the box.
McGrath's your most effective this season, isn't he? Nicky Cadden's your most, well, when he's fit, most creative in terms of crosses. Whether there's enough guys that'll get in the middle for to get on the end of them, I don't know. But then he's not playing out wide. You know, he's sitting in a three on the left of a three behind the striker. I don't know. It's something different. It's just something different. And it was actually when you try and go the 3-4-1-2, 3-5-2 bit, it's harder to fit some of these guys in because you've got more defensive options in there. I think.
What was your other lineup?
My other lineup. So I had a 3-4-2-1. And here's where I've contradicted myself, right? Because I've obviously got Salinger and goals, but I've got O'Hora on the right of the three rather than the new guy. Hanley in the middle with Iredale on the left. I've got Paslak and Abita as the wing backs. Mulligan and Barlaser as the other two in there. With McGrath and Cadden sitting behind Scarlett.
Split tens.
Well, aye, but I don't think they're going to. I think they're more creative there rather than just running about daft. You've got Abita and Paslak. I'm expecting them to be getting up and I'm doing the run and doing the touchlines on that one. Just to be a bit different rather than picking 3-4-1-2 all the time.
Aye, I think it's a. Do you know what you notice though? Like the quality that you've got, like you're no picking when you do it, and that's when I picked the team. I was like, fucking hell! You look at the players that aren't getting in the team, and you think if that's fair dropping them for it. I didn't have a problem with either of those two teams, Colin. I think they could both work.
I think there's loads of other players there like that would still fit in and you wouldn't bat an eyelid. And I've just went with the one up front, which people might say is negative, but I'm trying to be the one up front based on how he looks. He'll bring other players into the game, and if you've got McGrath and that sitting behind him, I think he'll create opportunities for them. You know, I don't think so. It's one up front, but I think it's almost still as attacking as playing two up front with a defensive 10.
You're relying on the midfield runners, though, aren't you? Like for Scarlett to hold it up and then folk to be bombing on to get ahead of them.
We've got Mulligan in there to do that.
Yeah.
And another one had Chaiwa and Mulligan in the team. You know, you've got a lot of legs with both of them in it.
John, I'll get your lineup in a second. Stephen Skinner says we're going to win at Tynecastle. Hearts will be nervous because they can't afford to lose. We can play with much more freedom, which gives us the edge. This is probably the first time in ages that the pressure's been like fully on Hearts for a game. I mean, they will be huge bottle jobs if they don't win the league from the position that they've been in.
Absolutely.
Huge fucking bottle jobs if they don't do it. Ronnie said,
if you're top of the league all season like that, you know, the expectations are up, and it would be a complete failure.
Aye, it'd be like an all-time bottle job, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Ronnie said, hi bangers. Dan said, good evening, Cuntos. Could be beautiful on Tuesday. Danny said, best 11 is a 3-5-2. So Salinger, Gara, Rocky, Iredale, Abita, Megwa, Mulligan, Barlaser, McGrath, Suto, and Boyle. So no room for Scarlett in that lineup. I think this is the other one as well. I think because we've signed a few strikers now. Again, you're like, what's the best combination going to be? J Star said when all fit, 3-5-2 Salinger, O'Hora, Hanley, Obita, Megwa, Nicky Cadden, Barlaser, Mulligan, McGrath, Suto, and Scarlett. Jane Sandy said, hi long bangers, what I missed? Nothing much so far. Jane Sandy, we're just talking about our best team. Joe's given us a team for Tynecastle. We'll come back to that one, Joe, because we're going to talk about that team in a wee bit. and J-Star has to know what a beater's injury is yet. I think it was just a sort of cramp type injury. I think he's going to be available for Tuesday. But Gary's pointing out that Hanley is out for Tuesday. I think we were expecting that as well. John, your best 11 if everybody was fit and available.
I'm not going to read the 3-5-2 because I think it's probably pretty straightforward. I think the only exception maybe is Scarlett up front. But anyway, I'm not sorry. Did I say Scarlett up front?
You did.
I'm actually lying. Well, I'll quickly go through it, and then we'll go into my team that I think is the strongest 11. So Salinger, O'Hara, Hanley, Iredale, Cadden, Mulligan, Barlaser, McGrath, Naden, Yuan, Boyle. I know that's maybe a little bit controversial, but I approached that with the idea that it was kind of like if you were playing a computer game and everyone was at like 100% of their abilities, 100% health, all that sort of stuff. That is the team that I would put out. That's, I think, the best 11. And I didn't include some of the newer signings because we've only seen them in one and a bit games in Scarlett's case. However, the team that I actually went for, and the reason why I deviated slightly on the formation, similar to Colin, was a little bit different, but it was also to try and play to player strengths. It was also to try and get as many of those best players on the pitch as possible. So it was 3-1-3-1-2. Back three: O'Hara, Hanley, Obita, Barlaser, Mulligan, Chaiwa, Campbell, McGrath, Boyle, Scarlett. Mulligan, like it's a pretty narrow midfield, if you want to look at it that way. But Mulligan and Campbell, again, if everyone's at 100% of their powers, Mulligan and Campbell on either flank, if you like, or sorry, not flank, but
Wider,
on either side of the midfield, they can help do a bit of cover with a bit of running. You've got the three at the back that we currently have. You've got Barlaser in there, who's got the runners ahead of him to play the ball to. You've got McGrath supporting the strikers. Scarlett, as we've seen, is a good target man, but he's also a wee bit like a number 10 as well, like on the game on Wednesday night with some of the balls that he was playing for the runners outside of him.
Interesting. Interesting. You got Campbell and Yuan, and I actually put this question up on the PM board at Hibsnet earlier in the week. Just kind of curious to see what folk would pick. And Yuan featured in loads of the strongest 11s, which I thought was like remarkable, as in worthy of remarking on, because he wouldn't have been anybody's starting 11 at the start of the season. I don't think. Like Yuan wouldn't have been anybody's thoughts. Like everybody thought he was just going to be like a bit part player this season, but he's sort of played his way into the thinking. I don't think it's that controversial to stick him in the best 11, John.
So Yuan was in my 3-5-2, partnering Boyle at front. And I think, again, like 100% of his abilities, I think when he's really up for it, he's a really good player, and he's a really good player to watch. Like, not just what he does with the football, but what he does off the ball when he makes space, when he creates space for others. We don't always see that. However, I think we got, I think when we played Motherwell, they had a really good first half, drifted away a wee bit in the second half. I think he had a similar game on Wednesday night, but you saw what he brought to the team with his running when Scarlett, I think, played. There was one of the balls that we remarked upon where he's played the ball through for Yuan's hit the side netting, but it's that, and there was another one in the first half as well. There was like a very neat little triangle down the east stand touchline, and that's the sort of stuff that gets me excited when I'm watching football. It's just like it is the neat interchange of play.
Yeah. And did you think about playing Chaiwa for the legs out wide instead of Campbell, or as well as Campbell?
I did, but I was sort of caught in two minds with like. So I've got Chaiwa in there.
Have you?
So in my second team, it was Mulligan, Chaiwa, Campbell, like sort of in
right.
the middle. Barlaser, McGrath, so loads of legs in midfield.
All the legs. That's basically
all the legs between them. Barlaser to do none of the running. The three guys in the middle to do all the running and McGrath to support the attack. And again, like it's a completely hypothetical side. It's like you chuck everyone on when you're playing FIFA or Pro Evo or whatever. Like, would that work in a real game situation? I'm not sure. I'd like to see it.
Depends who's got the controller in the dugout. Like that's how it goes. I went for the 3-5-2, or the 5-3-2, depending on how you look at it. So Salinger in goals, right wing back, Paslak, and then I went for Gara, Hanley, and Iredale as my three centre halves, with Nicky Cadden at the left wing back. Middle three, Barlaser, Mulligan, and McGrath, and Suto and Scarlett as my two centre forwards. And I kind of went on the premise that Paslak was brought in to play that right wing back role specifically, and we've highlighted all season that we didn't have a threat down the right with Chris Cadden and Megwa. So if we brought him in for that role and he's comfortable for that role, then play him there. Garanaga put in just really on the basis of his career so far, like, and the fact I think he was bought for €4.5 million or pounds, which gives you an idea of the level that he's at, and the thinking being that you didn't bring players in to make your squad worse. So I thought it was harsh because you could easily put in O'Hora or Rocky into that position, and I think the team changes, but that's why I went there. And Nicky Cadden I put in for his deliveries ahead of Abita, who was like the alternative that I was kind of switching between. But then no room for Yuan, for Chris Cadden, for Newell, Molotnikov, for Mane, for Campbell, Boyle, Eldon that we brought in, Chaiwa. Like you start kind of rattling off. I picked subs.
You picked two teams now.
Aye. So my bench was Smith, Rocky, O'Hora, Obita, Megwa, Andrews, Chaiwa, Eldon, and Boyle. Forgot about Andrews as well. And they brought him in. So I think there's real. If we could get folk back fit by the end of the season, there's real strength and depth there now, and a lot of options that David Gray's got, and some good quality there as well. I'm quite excited to see Soottle and Scarlett play together as well.
Aye, see, I didn't pick him right. He came on, he scored a cracking header, and I listened to Malky's interview. Would you believe that? On
Did you?
Aye. I had
How
nothing else
bored
to
were
do.
you?
Well, I had the house to myself yesterday, as was discussed, right? And I was like, brother-in-law sent me. I thought, fuck, I'll just play it. It was only 20 minutes, and I thought, right, that's at the top end of what I'm willing to listen. And he was talking about how enthusiastic the boy was to come and how he's been keeping an eye on the results and that kind of gave me a bit of hope. But what also is, I thought, he's obviously good in the air. If we're playing Cadden, like that's what he's for, eh? Like that's what Suto's been brought in for. To get on the end of Cadden's crosses. It must be. So,
did you catch an interview with Suto earlier? I think it was released maybe earlier yesterday, and he was asked the question, "What's your favourite film? What's your favourite TV series?" Didn't watch TV. Didn't watch films. A man after your own heart.
No, I watched TV series. I watched loads of TV series. I just didn't watch films.
Was it Murdo McLeod that had the famous interview that was like that? Like, who's your favourite player? Didn't have one. Like, and it was like that all the way through. It was just like, fucking sure it was Murdo McLeod, but maybe no. Kay Stewart said Nicky Cadden and Scarlett must start on Tuesday. We'd also like to see us keep going for the win right to the end, unlike the last visit to Tiny. J Star said they could be knocked off the top this weekend. Alex Duff said, did Curvy enjoy his Pico de Gallo?
I did, and thank you for your rating out of 15, Alex. You gave me a very generous 13.5.
Decent.
And didn't mark me down for my onions.
No half marks.
There's no half mark. Again, the rules say no half marks. It's either a 13 or a 14. You can round up, John, in that case. Jane Sandy said Salinger, O'Hora, Hanley, Iredale, Paslak, Mulligan, Andrews, McGrath, Nicky Cadden, Scarlett and Suto with O'Hora captain if everybody's available and fit. That's a good lineup as well.
It's really hard. I found it really hard picking a lineup because you go, right, I didn't want to stick with 3-5-2, even though I think probably a 3-5-2 is how we will play best. And we've bought, like, that's how we've been playing all season. And that's the sort of players that have been brought in to fit positions within that system, that formation. But as soon as you start deviating, when you start thinking, right, well, I want extra, but I maybe want to have a bit more at the back and keep 5 in the field. Well, suddenly you've only got one striker up front, and is it Boyle or Yuan? Is it Scarlett? Is it Suto? And it's really challenging because there's players there that we brought in a sort of, we've seen some of them in a limited sense. Like I think it's reasonable to include Scarlett based on that very small sample that we've seen of him so far because he looks like a player. But there are others there, so I think in that lineup that you mentioned there from the listener, there's no Boyle.
No.
And there's going to be a time where like Boyle isn't in the Hibs side. Like I remember when my mate Sandy pointed out to me when it was the first time that we hadn't heard Hanlon and Stevenson in the same lineup. Like I think that's going to be a similar sort of feeling when Boyle isn't around to pick anymore. And it look like we've already seen a bit of that so far with Boyle not being an automatic starter. I think was there any games where he wasn't even named on the bench, but he was fit to play? Can't remember
No,
exactly.
I don't think we've ever seen where he's been fit and available where he's not been picked at least for the bench.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
That could be something that we face. Hopefully not between now and the end of the season. But it could be that this is Boyle's like final few months in a Hibs shirt.
I think that's, Colin, I suppose the whole purpose of transfer window and squad building is that you want to get to that point where the players who have been your mainstays and Boyle's been a talisman for the club for a long time are superseded. Showing they're relegated to sort of bit part players because the players that you bring in have improved the squad overall.
Oh, you've got to transition them out at some point. Like nobody's got to play forever, unfortunately, and or fortunately in some cases. But you know what I mean? It's that's just the way it is. So yeah, but we don't know. Like we're all picking, and I've done the same. I've picked Scarlett because I thought he was good 60 minutes. Right, that's it. Goes against all everything I've said on this for the last 4 or 5 years. Like, didn't he just somebody too soon in that? I just thought I saw something in this boy. But like picking Suto up front, what they come on for 20 minutes. You know what I mean? We're already picking him in that. I'm just thinking it was a good header, but do it again on Tuesday night, right? And then I'll on board.
And then we'll talk.
Aye, and I sort of trying to justify my logic for putting in the new guys was the fact that we brought them in for that reason to go and feature in the team. So go and hopefully that they're better than what we have. So to change it up a wee bit then and look ahead to Tuesday night because a different scenario there. We don't have everybody available. We have a bit more of a limited squad. You maybe want a bit more like experience of the particular fixture might come into thinking when picking a team. So put you on the spot a wee bit here, Colin. What's your team for Tuesday night?
Literally on the spot because I've picked a team.
There you go.
Right, because I'm teacher's pet. Right, so we've got Salinger in goals, obviously. Right, back three is O'Hara fit. I've picked O'Hara. If not, it's obviously Garananga.
I don't know if O'Hara is fit.
Right, so I've picked O'Hara, right, but if not, obviously Garananga. Hanley. Oh, I've picked Hanley. I fucked that right up. He's not available. So Rocky and Iredale.
Imagine going to the front of the class.
I know.
And you get it wrong.
I know. Anyway, no. I'm just making sure. No. Come on. This is my 3-4-1-2 if everybody's fit. So I'll just be off the cuff, right? So Salinger, Garananga, Rocky, and Iredale.
Okay.
Nicky Cadden on the left, Paslak on the right, Barlasar, Bichaiwa in the middle. I'm going Josh Campbell in behind those two with Scarlett and probably Boyle up front. Okay.
What's your thinking behind that?
So players that know the derby. Right, Boyle, as much as he gets criticised by folk, he's been a leader for the last season or year and a half. He knows he's scored against Hearts loads. Troubles them with his pace. We've got the footballer there beside him, Nicky Cadden back in because he get his last year when we won there at Christmas, his crosses, and then a solid back three, isn't it? With Rocky in the middle there, and the midfield worked the other day. I thought, well, Barlasser and Chaiwa, I thought they both had a good game. So, and Campbell's a workhorse that knows the derby, that chips in with goals. Well, he scored his first one, but he scored like Christmas last year. Just never got the credit for it. And you've got that. I think you need like a Hibs fan of that sort of nature in for a derby like this. Somebody knows it. Boyle would be. You'd count Boyle like as an adopted one, but Campbell is one. You know what I mean? So I think we need that in there.
Okay, John, before I get your one, I'm going to go back to Joe Capaldi's, because he gave us a team for Tiny right at the start of the episode, which was Salinger, Gararanga, Rocky, Iredale, Megwa, Barlaser, Newell, Chaiwa, Nicky Cadden, Scarlett, and Yuan. Oh,
It's not too different to mine.
Yeah. And I can see the logic in that team as well. But I think, going back to my point about Yuan earlier, like Yuan's played his way into the thoughts for the selection. Dan says, agree with Suto and Scarlett. Suto's been doing it at Belupo already as well. Cuntos, Nicky Cadden, I agree with everyone. And J Star said Suto and Scarlett with Nicky delivery rest of the season. We get fourth. Joe said, totally agree with Colin. Suto was an impact sub for Tuesday. Dan says, you could argue with yourself all day about this, but bit wide to bump Boyle. It's just how we use them, starters or from the bench. John, your team for Tiny?
I don't know. You put me on the spot a bit. Salinger. So are we basing this on assuming they're fit, or what we know?
Well, from what we know, the squad's availability so far, so broadly in line with what was available on Wednesday night, I think.
Garananga, Rocky, Iredale. On the right, Paslak, Barlister, Chaiwa. Who else have we got in the middle? Who played? Who played on Wednesday?
Well, we played the two guys in front, didn't we?
So we had Chaiwa and Barlister were the midfield too.
It was Boyle and Yuan that played in front of those two
on
Wednesday. And then we had Scarlett playing in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make it I don't know, do I want to make it a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-3? Because I feel like we were more of a 3-4-3 on Wednesday, but I think maybe the derby requires a little bit more in midfield.
Yep.
So go for the five across the middle. Two up front would probably be Scarlett and Boyle, because I think you've got two different dimensions in attack. You've got the more sort of physical, the more powerful runner, and you've got the pace in there.
Yep.
The Martin Boyle.
I think they could link up like Scarlett. If Scarlett's got somebody to play off him as well, you could see some nice wee passes there.
Boyle to peel off, create a space for him.
Yeah.
I would probably start with Jordan Abita over on the left-hand side against Hearts. I think, I don't know who the listener was that mentioned impact subs, but I kind of think of Nicky Cadden as being a little bit of an impact sub at the moment, just because of his injury problems of late. I don't know if we'll get 90 minutes out of him at the start, and I think I'm maybe keener to have Nicky Cadden come on later in the game rather than start with him and substitute him for Abita later in the game.
Do you know? And we don't know if Abita's fit, right? But I get what you're saying. But the you would want Cadden on the pitch at the same time as Suto, and if Suto's got to come off the bench later, and then you're taking Cadden off about the same time, you're missing the actual benefit of those two, because his balls and his head is going to cause teams bother the rest of the season, hopefully. So there's logic there.
Just get my head around that sentence that you had there, Colin.
His balls in his head?
Yep.
As soon as I said it, I thought...
I said I could respond to it. Raymond said, good evening, lads. Got to play Boyle. He's been ace against the Hearts for years. And Jane Sanders is impressive that Joe picked Barlos is coming around to liking him. Draw. Well, that's it. That's your successor. If you've got any comments while we're live, or any questions you want us to pick up during this episode, stick them in the chat on YouTube, and we'll get to as many as we can as we go. I've completely lost my place there. John, did you give us your team? No, did you give us your 11, John?
I did. I sort of worked for defence to attack, and then had a wee bit of debate with myself about the midfield, but it's definitely five in midfield. Obita on the left, Paslak on the right, Barlaser, Chaiwa, and I'm tempted to put Campbell in there for the same reason as my best 11. Bodies, runners, midfield.
Yeah, I picked him. I agree with it. For the
The
derby, I think Campbell should be a stick on for the derby.
the midfield's going to be massive, I think, for it. And I thought that was the issue on Wednesday night against Dundee United when we played with the three up front, that we just gave up the midfield altogether, and it was too much for Barlaser and Chaiwa to do. I think they needed an extra body in there to just give a bit more protection to the back line.
Does that?
I think
Is
the
that?
dangerous.
Sorry, I was just going to ask. Like, does that like this goes back to the best 11 and thinking about it, and like the bodies that we have available is 3-5-2 or like minor tweaks of 3-5-2 the best formation that we could play?
I think for the squad that we've got, it's the most versatile because it gives you the attacking width when you're going forward, but you can also, it's five at the back when you're defending, and we tend to defend in numbers, like and we need like our defence hasn't been great this season. I was having a look earlier on at the table, and the goals that we've conceded are, the numbers are high for it. So I think you'd want that solidity. I think if we went to a four, we'd lose something going forward. So I think that the 3-5-2 gives you that flexibility based on the squad that we've got. I think it's the most
I don't know.
suited.
Like we've got a lot more attacking players now,
Mhm.
and I think if you play four at the back, because effectively when we talk about different formations, right? You're talking we're playing three at the back, we're playing four at the back. That's the difference. But I think the four allows you to get more of the attacking players in the team. I think the three is slightly more. It's one less defender in
Yeah.
effect. But it's no, is it? Because you've got the wing backs to including all that. I think the three is a bit more defensive minded than a four. Or it could, anyway, I think we could fit more attacking players in a four at the back.
Interesting for Lionel, because Colin, your point about Suto and Nicky Cadden's probably just changed what my answer would have been, because I think I would like to see us start off trying to win the game and deal with, because Hearts play wide as well. Like they play with the wingers and they
Well,
get a
do you
lot.
know what I was going to say? Sorry, can I just, before you get into it,
Mhm.
John had said a point there about the midfield, and I think I made the point on Friday that Paslak was coming inside in the midfield almost to fill a gap, and I don't know if I want him to do that because their danger man, you need to keep him on his bad foot and not let him cut in, because then that nullifies him. We've seen that in the two games that we've played them. So, but if Paslak's away drifting in, that's going to give him more space. And I don't want to give him that space because we've seen we can stop him. So let's stop him. Let's not have a wing back drifting into the midfield trying to cover for a lack of bodies in there.
Aye, but that's why I think you need that three
Mhm.
in the middle. So I would start, because I'd like to see us on the front foot to start off with. And although Hearts play with wingers, and you're probably your instinct is to go defensively to nullify them. But I think if we can get them running back towards their own goal more, that's more
Yeah.
effective than trying to defend against them. So I would go Salinger in goals, Garnanga, Rocky, and Iredale as my three. I would start with Paslak on the right and Nicky Cadden on the left. I would go with Chaiwa, Barlaser, and Andrews, I think, is the three.
I forgot about him. Aye.
And then I would start with Suto and Boyle and bring Scarlett on after. And then hopefully, if that goes to plan and we get like a goal or two, then you've got the defensive options to go and say, right, well, we can bring on a beater for Nicky Cadden, we can bring on Megwa for Barlaser, because I think Megwa looked better defensively on that sort of small sample size Wednesday night. Megwa looked like he was a better defensive option
For
on the
Paslak.
for Paslak, yeah, sorry, on the right hand side. So if you needed to shore up a little, then you could do that. You can bring Campbell on as well, but then you can bring Scarlett on, who's going to hold the ball up the top end of the pitch for you as well. So maybe that would be my starting lineup and try to give them something to think about for the first 70 minutes, 60, 70 minutes.
And there's logic in that. So they're getting the suit on, Cadden on the pitch at the same time because we've not spoke about the game, right? We've just been boring folk with fucking names of
Lineups,
players. But
names.
the what's important on Tuesday night, I think, or could be massively important, is if we start well and get an early goal. Because we've seen them out begging their fans to be positive and that in the press for the last 3 or 4 home games now. And obviously they'll be noisy at the start on Tuesday. But if we go a goal up, they're starting to panic, right? Because they're only, Rangers have they could get jumped this week if everything goes to plan, sort of thing. So they'll be nervous if we go one up, and if we've got Cadden pinging balls in for the big man to get on the end of. There is logic in that, to make them nervous and panic and start to get on there, whether it's the players' cases or whether they get on McInnes's case. I don't know, but they're going to be lashing out at somebody.
And they're missing Halkett as well, John. I mean, this is the other thing for playing a physical striker. So whether that's Scarlett or Soto, you want somebody physical going in and noise up there. Whoever it is comes in for Halkett. Wouldn't you like this to make a nuisance of themselves?
And just when you mention, I don't think we talked about the potential of Scarlett and Soto up front, or maybe that's what we just said. But I think if you do that, then you do have the option later on if the game goes to plan and you noise up the defenders, bully them a wee bit. You've then got the option of bringing pace on later in the game when they're tired to try and exploit that as well. And I suppose there's multiple ways to try and win the game. One of the things I was thinking about was your description, Matty, of going after them early and trying to, try to get them on the back foot early doors, because that's kind of how the previous game at Easter Road went.
Yeah, it worked.
And it absolutely worked. Like, we won the game, but we definitely tired towards the end of the second half, and that's when they were able to chuck on multiple bodies. They were going for their plan B, C, D, chucking everything at it approach. We still won the game, but going after them early doors, it could have ended slightly differently. And I wonder if that, like, do you still? I guess I'm trying to understand, like, if that influences your thinking at all, and would you change your approach at all, knowing what we know from the previous game?
Nah, so I think I would rather be in the position of defending a lead going into the last 15, 20 minutes, knowing that there's going to be an onslaught, right? Because it will happen, whether it's 1-0 or 3-0. Hearts can't afford to lose the game. They just can't. This is like a must win almost for them. It's pretty much every game is a must win for them now. Like if they want to win the title and not bottle it for the position that they're in and be known as that team that fucked it from such a strong position, forever, then these games are must win for them. So if we go in front, the last 15, 20 minutes is going to be fucking balls getting launched in from everywhere into the box, shots for 25, 30 yards out, hoping they go in off of somebody's arse, etc. So we know we're going to have to cope with that at some point in the night if we go in front. But similarly, I think if they go 1-0 up, I think they'll be nervous to keep coming because they'll have something to protect, and that allows us to go and start chucking the ball into the box and go and test them what they're about as well. So I think, like, does it change my thinking? No, not really. I think I would rather be going in and saying, like, I agree with Colin, if you can shut the crowd up more than they normally are, then that's great. If McInnes is having to go to the fucking announcer at half time and saying, go and do another appeal to get them to make some noise, then that's a good position for us to be in. We want to get them in their faces, get them on the back foot early on. If we can get a goal or two, then fucking brilliant. That's it. That's like the perfect night. And then there's going to be, like I said, an onslaught. You have to deal with pressure that's going to come because that's what teams do when they've got nothing to lose. They can chuck everybody forward. They'll go, well, if we're losing 2-0, it doesn't matter if we lose 3-0. It's worth throwing everybody forward to get back into the game. So go and win it and cope with what comes.
How much difference do you think it'll make going into the game? So assuming we're a couple goals ahead and we're defending a lead in the final 15, 20 minutes, how much difference do you think it'll make going into the game, knowing that there'll be an onslaught towards the end of the game, assuming we're in that position, rather than going into the game and thinking, "Oh fuck, here we go again." Like those guys are renowned for getting late goals.
Well, I think we just learned from the last one. like the onslaught came and we still won the game. Do you know when they talk about? I heard them saying like talking to a Hearts fan longer, and they said, "Oh, he's bottled at the end of the game." And go, "What did they? We won. Like we saw it out." And actually, it was weird. The best chances at the end of the game. Can't remember who missed them. Chiwa missed one. Sorry, Clegy missed one, and I can't remember who missed the other. But we had chances to go and put it to 4-2. So I think you go and you remind the team that it'll come. But if you've got a good enough lead and you defend well enough, you'll see the game out, and we could do it. And even if we do concede, we can still go back up the pitch and score, as we saw against Dundee United on Wednesday, where we went behind with a few minutes left and then come away with the 3 points. So I think you just look at the experience that the team's got in this fixture, and they know they can go win it. They know they can cope with a bit of pressure as well. We've been there before with them.
A
Colin,
rallying call for the fans, chief. I love it.
What would you be saying to the team, Colin, going into
it? What would I be saying? I'd be leaving it to boys like Campbell and Boyle to be saying it, because I think, like I think like what it'll mean, like you know what it means for us, like hearing these cunts going on about it, like they're world beaters, like it'd be the same for them. You know what I mean? So let's I'd leave it to them. Like I'd say, I'd be going. I think there's much to be said. I think we need to say much. I genuinely do. It's like if you don't fucking understand this, you're not going to understand anything. We've got quite a. I was going to say something mental there based on some of the negative press that was there about had no Scottish in the team. I was going to say we've got quite a Scottish
core?
influence in the core, right? Because I'm thinking there. I'm thinking Iredale, right? Cadden, both Caddens, Boyle. I know they play for Australia and that. Did I say Campbell already? I've said him plenty of the night. But then there's a British base of players that know about derbies and that. There's boys that have been here long enough to know what it means.
Rocky and Newell, for example, that
exactly, and it'll be like there's boys there that have been here long enough now to know how big this is anyway. But because of the situation that we're in chasing and that they're in, sort of on the brink of blowing it after being there that long, it's like they've got to be using that as motivation. Like, aye, that's what I'd be focusing on, shutting them up genuinely, like because they're shutting up even more, like you already made the point on, because they are obviously struggling with nerves, which is understandable. We'd be nervous, like if you're in a position you've never been used to, and you're looking over your shoulder all the time. You're going to be nervous. So make it for a fucking reason rather than worry. Like actually make it give them something to worry about.
And how important is the experience, John? The fixture, the fact that we've got. I mean, Hearts have more now that they've had a couple of the season, but players that have been there and done it in the fixture.
It's, I've kind of flip-flopped on this over a year depending on what sort of situation the Hibs squad's been in at the time. Like I've thought to myself, right, we're going to, whether it's at Easter Road or Tynecastle, we're going to the Derby and we've got an inexperienced squad. Well, they don't have that weight of expectation on their shoulders. They can go in and they can play with freedom and youthful exuberance and all that sort of stuff. And then there's other times where I've thought, actually, no, the experience is going to do us really well here because, as you've described, like we've had these games before. Some of the players that are within the squad at the moment have faced a bit of adversity. Have had a couple of sore ones, but they've also seen what it means to the supporters, and also like dug themselves out and ground out the victories. So I think it varies. I think it can vary from time to time. I think I'd probably err on the side of experience rather than inexperience and immaturity to see us through the game.
It's interesting though, like because I think because of our age, and a lot of the fan base's age, that we do take a bit of negativity and thought into the derby. But I think it was Pretty Boy on Hibs.net posted some numbers on Friday, and in the last 11 years in derbies at Tynecastle, we've lost 4 games. You know what I mean? It's like we need to be. And I know, Matthew, we spoke about our kids, like both 23, 22, our kids, and they didn't go into derbies with any fear. We can't be good. They should be coming in with fear because our record's been good and in the position they're in. Whereas our record there's all right over the last, recent times, but I mean 10, 11, 12 years.
Mm-hmm. And even the one that we lost at the start of the season, it was like there's fuck all in that game. It wasn't like can we have been there over the years and taken proper dullions? That wasn't a dullion. It was just fucking,
Yeah.
an arrow
And
game that
that's not,
went could have
that's
went
just
either
a
way.
bit of context in it, because obviously, like they'll throw around to try and reinforce our sort of negativity, the overall record. It's like, well, let's look at recent times. Like in recent times, there's no clear winner here. Like so. We've got nothing to fear there. Like, but we need to get that in our mindset, because anybody over 35 goes in with that in the back of their mind.
I don't think though that there's many at the club that are going in like that now. Like certainly knowing the playing squad, knowing the management, Gray's record against them must be pretty good. I mean, I've not gone and checked, but I think even as a player, he didn't lose many against them, and as a manager, he's only lost one. I think that for the top of my head against them. So, like I think from the coaching staff down, we've got a no bad record, and I think the tie holds none of those connotations that they used to hold for us, and certainly the venue doesn't hold any fear for the team. Right, Jane Sandy said, "Hi John, well said." Don't know what it was you said, well John, but well said.
Thank
Dan
you.
says, "I just think Scarlett's one of the first names on the sheet." Joe said again, "I agree with Colin. Megwa rather than Paslak to neutralise the Hearts danger man down that side." And J Star said Megwa was great against Hearts at Christmas. David Grant said, "I really hope Hibs win against Hearts as a neutral observer. I like David Gray. His managerial career didn't start off well, but he's done pretty well going forward." Barney Rubble said, "I would have a slight concern that Soto might be a bit over physical and end up getting sent off. Maybe better on the bench." It's a fair point. And James Hansen, Megla and Paslak are battling for that shirt. Sad that Chris Cadden dropped down the pecking order. And Dan says they talk complete shite, the puddle drinkers. Yep, we have known that for a while. Tam says, "Hope Gray has learned from the last game. They're hoofball and too defensive. Do the things that have served us well over a good number of recent derbies." Colin, what does Gray take from these? Not just like that last game against Dundee United, but his games against Hearts overall. What does he take from those to use to his advantage going into this one?
Well, there's what did he take from it? We've had a lot of wins. Like he's won a lot. Like with the 3 wins. Was it 3 wins last season?
3 wins and a draw.
Oh no, we
no,
only played him 3 times.
two wins and a draw, because they were bottom 6, remember?
And then another win this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, his record's good. Like, so he's got but what else he could take is that last minute loss this season is to try and turn that, not turn it into a positive, but to try and use that to motivate as well, because it was shite, wasn't it? But also we didn't play well. We didn't get into the game. We had the chance, we missed it. They got their chance, they scored it, and that was basically it was first goal the winner, wasn't it? Always, but the to try and turn that around a wee bit, I think. I don't know, mate. I'm not very good at all that kind of how do you motivate folk. When I played myself, I was like the guy who sat in the corner, didn't say much. Like I wasn't into all the chest banging and punching the walls stuff.
You just sitting there thinking about how to break your opponents physically.
That's it. Just mind game stuff.
John, we often have the sort of the trope or the cliche about leadership, as well as a game where you definitely need your leaders on the pitch. Who are the key individuals in the team that you think are going to play an important role on Tuesday night?
It's a wee bit tricky to answer without knowing what the match day squad's going to be. But if you look at it from a broader perspective, I think Colin made a good point before about the guys who are experienced in the fixture. So the guys who might play, who are probably closer to the starting lineup, are Boyle and Campbell, but you've also got Joe Newell in there as well. So I'm trying to think about, like, if Rocky's going to play, I think he's a leader on the pitch. I think he leads by physical example. Like he's like, I remember, I think it was at a Rangers or Celtic game where he sprint limped back to get on the block or something. So I think that's leading by example on the pitch. I think you could expect that from him. Try to think who else. Um,
I think the keeper could play a part as well, like, just calming everybody down. But the other ones I agree with as well.
I think, do you know, one of the things I've seen for Salinger is he's not afraid to get vocal or to go chasing after the referee
Mhm.
when he thinks that something's gone wrong, even if it was the Hibs handball at East End Park,
Yeah.
when he was claiming for I think he was claiming for a handball.
Who is the ref? Do we know? Sorry to butt in there and change the subject, but do we know who the ref is? Because that can obviously play a part sometimes in a derby. I mean, they think beating's against them, but that's just a paranoia thing based on the last time he was there.
I'll Google it. I'm not sure.
Aye.
I was thinking when I was mentioning Salinger, I was thinking about leadership between the goalposts. Like I think he's a very competent goalkeeper, and I think maybe squirming shots or ones that have taken a deflection or whatever, I think he might be capable of. And obviously, like in the previous game, there's been the cutback that he's got the worldie on that he's never got the proper credit for.
Yeah.
So I think leadership could also come down to like just how you acquit yourself on the pitch. So I'm talking about Salinger and like the saves that he puts in, like the blocks that players are putting in, the passes that they're making, the shots that they're having on goal. So I think that'll be a big difference. I guess what I'm saying is that it's going to come down to those like individuals performing to the best of their abilities.
I was having a quick look on the SFA website for the for the appointments, right? And thinking who's designed this. I guess this is probably the easiest way for them to do it, right? But you you pick a drop down and you have to pick which competition you want, and the number of competitions. So it's like the House Solicitors Cinema Cup. Oh, I don't even care. There was a House Solicitors Cup, so I'm going to leave that. And
I
if
don't
anybody
think there
cares
is.
who the referee, they
I
can.
don't. I wonder if it's because there's still games getting played, because Falkirk are still playing right now in the Scottish Cup. That's mental. That kicked off
Are
at
they?
half-7, aye.
What the hell?
So I wonder if they have to wait till the weekend fixtures are gone and then they release the midweek ones.
Maybe.
In case of injuries and stuff
Maybe.
like that. Because it is late though. Normally you get there's normally a thread on the message boards as well
Aye.
saying, "Fuck, it doesn't matter who it is. Fuck's sake, it's whatever one it is."
Are we hoping Beaton and Walsh and what was the other one, McDermott, pull a hammy and
Well,
aren't available?
we don't want McDermott, right? But I mean,
No.
I don't think Beaton and that are that bad a ref. Like, they're the best of a bad bunch probably. That's why they get all the big games, isn't it? McDermott though, fuck knows how he gets the
Oh,
games.
God knows.
I
Oh,
thought
McLean's
you
back
had
in the
a
mix as well now. He
aye.
gets games again.
But he does us no favours, McLean. No,
Mm.
since the cup final, we've not had anything from him.
Since his brother played for us, and he got to tell he couldn't referee us.
Is that right? Is it,
Aye.
I never realised they were brothers.
Aye. Brian.
That's
Aye.
new news to me. That I didn't realise. But there you go. We must have
Professor Football.
we must have released them on bad terms or something. Then,
Mm.
That's why we're getting nothing. Just a vendetta.
Yeah.
Jane Sandy said those Hearts fans are crapping their pants. We beat them, followed by Rangers winning, and we've burst their bubble. Normal service must be resumed. WTO rules said, I think we play better football, just match their physicality and take our chance. If they go behind, they'll get very nervous. Let's go, Hibs. And Dan says, let's be honest, it's going to be some laugh when we win. McInnes is definitely rattled. It's blatantly obvious. That point, Colin, about taking the chance, and I don't think it's a typo there. It's not take our chances. The derby, the chances are few and far between, and we have been quite wasteful with our shooting boots of late. It is essential that when the chance comes along, we take it, isn't it?
Of course it is, but then we might get more. Like we got plenty in the game at Christmas. Like
Mm-hmm.
we could have wiped the floor with them until we let them back in the game a bit. That we still won. Just to remind everybody, like, because there's that. We acted as if we lost the game or didn't win the game. After we hammered them. Aye, but I don't know. We might get more than one, but I'd like us come out. I'd like just take every fucking chance we get. Like it doesn't like that. That's the dream, eh? Like
just hit the target and keep hitting the target,
every
please.
time.
That's it. Aye, just do it. Okay, right, we're into the closing stages. So we need to start thinking about. Well, I mean, there is, right, before we get to score predictions, right, there is, of course, the possibility that we didn't win, right, and that we lose. We we haven't been as a support famously resilient when things have gone against us so far this season, John. Um, would you expect the reaction to be if things don't go our way on Tuesday?
From whom?
Hibs fans.
From the support.
For
Yeah,
Hibs
I mean,
fans.
we get the talking points, right? So on Tuesday night, we'll go out and say, give us your talking points, right? Whether it's win, lose, or draw, and then we'll have the phone in on Wednesday. So, what do you expect that? From those comments, does it matter if it's a good performance in a defeat, or is the defeat going to be catastrophic for everybody?
Do you know, my gut reaction was that it was going to be that I would expect similar to the aftermath of the Dunfermline and Falkirk games. But then you threw into the mix the possibility of a good performance and still getting beat. I'd like to think that if we put in a good performance at Tynecastle, we'll come away with something. But I don't know when it comes to the emotive nature of football fans generally. I think they'll be spitting bullets. I think folk will be just wanting Gray out.
Yeah.
Aye.
Maybe we get an opportunity to have a conversation and try and let the dust settle because I think, oh sorry, I don't think that if we lose on Saturday, our current position is at risk. I don't have the league table
No,
in front
no,
of
it's
me.
not. I think we're okay in that front.
So like the status quo kind of remains the same, but I don't know if that brings into play like the idea that Hearts have kind of regained a little bit of an advantage in the league. It might be, I don't know if Rangers, I think Celtic play on Wednesday. I don't know when Rangers play. Like maybe the dust
Everybody
settles
else,
a little bit after
everybody else
those
plays
fixtures.
Wednesday. The thing
Right.
is, as well, if we lose, like if we're talking about that, if we lose, Falkirk play the night after at home to Dundee. If they win, then they've got the same points as us.
Yeah. So that might add a little bit more fuel to the fire in terms of criticism, because then we couldn't sit here and go, well, we couldn't try and logically try and say, right, let's not get rid of them, let's not get carried away like we're still fifth. Like at that point, you're going, well, we're fifth, but we're equal on points, and Motherwell could stretch a little bit further away with a game in hand.
Aye, it does have that potential, Colin, for it to be a particularly bad weekend. And then that game against St Mirren that we were talking about in extra time takes on extra significance, doesn't it?
Definitely. But back to the original question, like if we lose on Tuesday, there'll be absolute outrage. Like you can see that. You've seen that during the game on Wednesday night,
Mm-hmm.
and then obviously went on to win. So it calmed down a wee bit. If we lose the derby, let them establish their lead again and all that. That's got to be toxic.
So we just have to win then, eh? That's like the
Yep.
only
Or not
reasonable thing
lose.
to do. Or not lose, yeah. And I guess a draw probably is one of these.
You never
Probably one of
talk
these
about a
things.
derby draw.
Nah,
Like when we
but
talk,
it's
you're
probably
always
not a
like,
bad result for us, eh?
aye, yeah. No, it's not. It's not a bad result, but it's one of them. Like you always talk about what to win it and no lose it, and then the worst case scenario, but you never. And most of the games are draws. You know,
Aye.
I'm rattling off the stats
Yeah.
about how many we've lost. Like we've only won about the same, like as we've lost. The rest are draws. Like
Yeah.
double the amount of the games that either team's won have been a draw because they generally
But that
it's a
adds,
draw.
but that's the interesting thing about the derby. Like I don't think we've like the stakes previously have never involved stretching a league at the top of a table. So I do think I forget who the listener was. Like the pressure is all on them. Like if they've got any ambitions at all to try and win the league. Like if we're talking about big games and there being fewer opportunities to try and remedy lost points anywhere, well, if you've already won the league, then you have even fewer than we do, like in the lowly fifth position, and whatever aims are.
I'm really excited for it. I really fancy us, eh? I think it's good to be able to go there and have something tangible to play for. Like it's not just like a kind of like it's always something to play for in the derby. But I think the risk and reward sits in our favour this time. Like I think if we win, it's fucking massive. Like for them, it's just another step forward. They still have Rangers and Celtic breathing down their neck regardless. If we win, it just fucking throws everything up in the air. Which
I've
is
just had a message saying beating's a ref
is it?
on Tuesday. Sorry.
That's disappointing. I think
Well,
he does
they hate
the.
him. They hate him. They think
I,
they get nothing for him.
everybody hates him though. Eh? I
Mm.
suppose that's probably your best indicator that
So he'll
he's.
be saying I'm doing well then. Aye.
Aye. Okay, right. John, what's the score going to be?
2-0 Hibs.
Colin.
I'd love that. Right, 1-1 though.
You know, for 1-1. I'll go 1-0 Hibs. An early 1-0, early goal, and then just to fucking eat your nails for the rest of the evening, shite yourself, and then fucking go bonkers at the end. 1-0. One of those ones.
The Brian Kerr derby.
Aye, a
Oh,
Brian
mind that
Kerr.
one, eh?
Aye. That's my tip for it. Okay.
Macalambi.
We will Macalambi just send shivers down my back there when we talk about Macalambi and derbies, John. We will wrap up there. Thanks everybody for sending in your teams and for your comments on YouTube. Again, we'll just to repeat a re-ask that we have is that you go and check out our Patreon. Absolutely free. You can do a 7-day free trial on there. You can check out the subscriber content that's on there if you don't already subscribe, or you can click the join button on YouTube. There is no free trial on that though. We can't set it up, but we can give you 7 days free on us at the Patreon. So please do go and check out. There's plenty of stuff on there. It's well worth a couple of quid a month that it costs. So do that, and we also put out a Suto t-shirt as well to mark our new centre forward sign in. So if you go to redbubble.com and look up Long Bangers, you'll see a range of t-shirts and stuff on there as well. Right, thanks for tuning in. Good luck on Tuesday, everybody. That's